awesome. It's got a very nutty kind of flavor. You put just a little bit of butter and salt on that stuff and you've got a whole different kind of snack food than whatever you're popping in a microwave bag. That stuff is... Cereal. This is how we buy our cereal. I can't remember the last time I bought breakfast cereal in a box. The price on this stuff, you get, you know, twice as much for 3/4 of the price. Also, I've seen some of these guys talk about this already, but save these bags. If you have a, let's say, a food saver, I have managed to get these to work, and you know, those of you out there who are on a serious budget, save these bags, pack your stuff in these, and vacuum seal it. It does work. What else do we have here? While we're talking about bags, I wanted to bring this up. This is a Mylar bag. They make them a lot bigger, obviously. This particular Mylar bag is made to hold a hard drive from a computer. Guys, number one, if you're holding electronics, chances are the bag's no good anymore anyway because it's been punctured by all these sharp little pieces. But if you got Mylar bags that are used to hold electronics, I wouldn't try to use these for food storage. I know a lot of the guys that talk about prepping on a budget, and I've only seen one, and it was obscure enough that I don't remember the name, I'm sorry. Talked about using these to store your food in. Well, and I'm not a scientist, I don't know about any of this stuff, but my wife used to work at a company that made these things. Part of the process for making these things uses sodium cyanide. Okay? Sodium cyanide is the crap that you see in these suicide pills in the movies, and the reason you see it in those pills is because, yes, it will kill you. Their evacuation procedure at this particular plant, part of it was, when they told them about it, if you see your friend fall during an emergency alarm for sodium cyanide release, don't stop to pick them up, they're already dead. Okay, you get the picture? Lead, cadmium, all sorts of nasty stuff goes into these. They're stored in these things for months and sometimes years. I wouldn't use these for food. That's about it. Just some noodles. If you haven't tried real noodles, you know, these suckers are good. They're actually made with eggs and not some kind of yellow food coloring. A suggestion, guys. This is going to be a catch-all video. It's my first one, and believe me, as you can probably tell, I am not a pro at this at all. I see a lot of you guys making vids, and your camera's all over like this, and you complain that you can't do things with one hand. This was $5 at my local Wally World. It's a simple tripod. You know, for $5 you can set this up just like I have with my, you know, more expensive tripod, which by the way cost me $20 at Wally World. Set this $5 beauty up. You know, as long as you're not trying to move it or pan or anything like that with it, this will do the job. And it'll help you make better videos if that's your aim. I am not criticizing anyone for their video making skills. Another thing, I happen to have a Canon camera. It's a very good camera that I got for just under half price as a refurbished unit. Problem, the batteries. This is a battery from Canon. It's the one that comes with it. To replace this battery, I believe, costs about $100. Now this battery will give you 30 to 45 minutes of time before your camera goes dead. This is the largest battery that fits in that camera. Okay, this is not a Canon battery. It's a cheap knockoff with all of the warnings that entails. Okay, you order these things from places like Amazon. That's where I got this one. First, let me tell you the price. This battery cost me $17. It's good for anywhere from 4 to 5 hours in this camera. Okay. Thing about this particular camera is it's got a little computer chip in this battery. Sorry, I've got a cold today. And it communicates with the camera, and if you get a battery that does not have that little computer chip, sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't, but a lot of the things that, you know, make that camera more usable don't work with this battery. For instance, I've heard things about, well, I have to shut it off, unplug the battery, etc. Every time I want to use the camera, it won't tell me how many minutes are left on it, so all that kind of stuff. This particular one is made with that chip. I bought 2 of these because I figured one of them was going to go bad, or one of them was going to show up bad. Luckily for me, both of them work perfectly. I get about 4.5 hours off of one of these batteries. I think they call it a 5 or a 6 hour battery. You know, hey, for 16 bucks, what do you expect? Anyway, look around. Like I said, the caveat with this is simply, it may show up and it may not work. It may show up, may not work, and when you go to send it back, you get a lot of guff, you know. For me, 2 batteries with shipping, 45 bucks, as opposed to anywhere from $200 to $300 for one of these batteries from the manufacturer. I was willing to take the risk or go through the hassle to save, let's say, 150 to 250 bucks. I think that's it for now. I'll have more videos coming in the future, and I don't really have anything else to say. Oh yes, one last thing. This is my food saver. I use this thing a lot, especially with meats. I'll go to Sam's Club or any place else that's offering 10 pounds for 10 bucks kind of things. And immediately when I get them home, I portion them out. For now, for us, it's just myself and my wife. So we portion them into small portions, seal them up with this and freeze them. Throw them. We've got a large freezer, so lucky us. Anyway, what you see on the internet a lot of times is these fancy new black and chrome digital readout, 15 buttons, blah blah blah, food savers, and that's great if you've got, you know, $100 to a couple $100 to spend on the unit. You know, if I really had that much cash laying around, I would do it too, because I'm as much of a gear gadget kind of guy as anybody. This one here does what I need. I bought it new. Actually, I think when I bought it, this was the only model available, so that should tell you how long I've had this thing. As far as I know, it does everything the big ones do. It's got your little tube right here that originally came with special canisters just from them. I've recently discovered the little cap that goes on your ball jars, and you can seal things up in them. Awesome, by the way, whoever brought that out, or whoever put that on the internet, thank you very much. Problem is, I can't find them locally, so I'm going to have to go on the internet and get them. No big deal, I'll do that. My point here is, as people, you know, we have a throwaway society, and as people go through and get the bigger, better deal, the bigger, better thing, these things end up in thrift stores like Goodwill, Salvation Army. We have a local one for a local church, Savers, places like that. Garage sales. If you go to a garage sale, I've seen these things. I personally saw an older lady dicker a guy down to $5 for one of these, and I think I spent $100 on this thing when I first got it. You can see the white plastic is starting to yellow, you know, with age and stuff like that. None of that matters. It still works. As far as I go, I've been using this for at least 5 years. You know, probably a couple times a week, and it's still going strong. The great thing about being simple is there are no gears, there are no motors, there are no you know, automatic seal pincher kind of, you know, doodads that can go bad with you over time. So if things go downhill like I personally think they're going to, and you're not going to have the kind of money to spend on repairs and stuff, you want something simple, this is simple. That's it for that.